Hi, this is Blake Butler, lead exercise specialist at the Lift Wellness Center. And today in this video, we're going to talk about the Landmine Press, as well as a few variations on different stances to use for it. So the Landmine Press is a great exercise for developing upper body strength for the chest, shoulders, and triceps, as well as developing stability and control of the posterior shoulder and strength in our core throughout the movement. So we're going to do this in 4 different stances. First, from what's called a tall kneeling position, or where both knees are down, a half kneeling position where one knee is down, a split stance similar to a lunge, and then a full standing position. So in this movement, we've got a couple cues we want to think about. While we're on our knees and in any of the kneeling positions, we want to think about keeping our hips pressed forward, our belly button pulled in so our core is tight, keeping our chin down and keeping our chin tucked in so that our back is in a neutral position, as well as thinking about pushing straight up and away and controlling the weight as we bring it back down to the starting position. Also, we want to think about in our half kneeling positions and in our split lunge that the front foot is flat and our back toe is pressed in the ground. And I'll point this out when we actually get into the movement. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move into our movement, starting off with the tall kneeling position where both knees are down. So starting in the kneeling position, we're going to work on mainly core stability in this movement, because when we're from our knees, we have a greater demand from our core to keep our hips and shoulders parallel with one another as opposed to the standing position. However, the weight's going to be a little bit heavier than in the standing position because of the angle of the landmine. So from here, we've got our knees directly underneath our hips and shoulders. My toes are pressed into the ground and my hips are pressed forward so that everything is tight from my hips to my core. From here, we're going to grip our barbell, bringing it up to chest height in line with our shoulder. You notice I've got my elbow tucked in tight directly underneath the bar so I can press in a straight motion. I'm going to keep my belly button pulled in, chest down, hips forward. I'm going to press through fully with the elbow and shoulder slightly leaning forward, and then bringing it right back down to the starting position in a controlled manner. You'll notice in my shoulder blade from the back view here that as I press up, I'm allowing that shoulder to rotate all the way forward and rotate back down in a controlled position in front of the shoulder. This is going to help develop a lot of strength and control in our posterior shoulder. So that is our tall kneeling position where both knees are down. Now we can progress this movement into what's called the half kneeling position where we have one knee up. So we're going to lift one foot up, keeping that foot flat with our heel directly underneath our knee. Still, I have my supporting knee underneath my hips with my back toe pressed into the ground so that I'm able to put force into the ground, creating stable hips and a stable core. From here, I'm going to bring that barbell back up into my hand, where that hand is right in front of my shoulder, about chest height. And then we're going to again press straight through, allowing that shoulder blade to roll forward, the arm to be fully extended, slightly leaning forward, and then bringing the barbell right back down into that starting position. So pressing up with a tight core, chest down, chin tucked, hips pressed forward, pressing up and away, and bringing it right back down into a controlled manner. So these are our 2 kneeling positions, our tall kneeling with both knees down and our half kneeling with one knee up. From here, we're going to move into a standing position and show you the split stance and the full standing position. Now that we're in that standing position, we're going to do our last 2 variations of stances on the Landmine Press, starting with the split stance. So in the split stance, we're going to bring one leg forward onto our heel and taking our other foot back where we're more so on our toe. So most of my weight's going to be on my front leg with my back leg kind of supporting my balance. From here, we're going to lift up our barbell to again where that hand is right at shoulder level in front of our chest. My weight's mostly on my front leg. Belly button's pulled in so my core is tight. I'm keeping my chest down, my chin tucked in. We're going to press up and away, bringing the barbell back down in a controlled manner, allowing that shoulder blade to rotate all the way forward and bringing it back behind the body again. So this is our split stance of the Landmine Press. This can be done with both feet forward. Now our last and final version of our Landmine Press is just a full standing, where both feet are directly at hip width apart underneath us. So we're going to go ahead and pick up that barbell. Walking up to it where that bar is right in front of our chest, about shoulder height, pressing up and right back down. Pressing up and right back down. Now you'll notice that this movement is a little bit easier in the standing position than in the kneeling position, so you should be able to use a little bit more weight where you can focus on more strength on the pressing movement, whereas the kneeling positions provide a greater benefit to our core and to our posterior shoulder in the sense of stability. So this is Blake Butler with the Lift Wellness Center. Thank you for watching.